Guys, we finally made some progress on the getting rid of bots within Splinterlands. I don't know if you've seen the most recent news in the town hall, but they're giving us some like early teasers on the anti-bot measures, and we got a little bit of a date, which is August. So get ready for Modern League to be an anti-bot place going forward. But for me, the job still isn't done. They've started taking off the plaster, and now they need to rip it off completely. On one side, we still have the battle helpers, which is definitely going to be a harder task compared to bots, as the system that they do it in and the way how the providers have talked about, whereas they can just turn it into an Excel sheet instead. I feel like there needs to be a way to stop it, considering with the anti-bot measures they worked with the providers, so maybe the providers can kind of work with the team to kind of make an ecosystem where if a player chooses to be on one side, they can be, and if a player wants to be on the other side, they can be as well. And secondly, we need to get rid of bots within Brawls and tournaments, because that is the most competitive game mode that we have. Brawls is when two guilds battle it out, and we need it to be fair. And tournaments, even esports, there needs to be a level playing field all round. Otherwise, you can never make a tournament into an esport, because sports need to be equal. And I feel like we need to sort this out now and stop kind of like only doing little bits and bobs, to get what I mean. We only did it in modern ranked. Cool, we can accept that with like modern and wild being split and just accepting that. But I feel when it comes to Brawls and tournaments, it should be a no-go all round. And don't worry, I'm not just saying no bots, no bots. In this video, I'll break down ways that we can do that, and we can maybe draft up a proposal, because I'm not sure if you saw how Weirdbot presented it, but in the proposal that was made and passed, it only got rid of bots, and it didn't say nothing about battle helpers. I feel now we need to tackle that issue next. And as we already started to get rid of the bots within one area of the game, now we need to focus on the other areas of the game where we can get rid of them as well. But before that, like the video if you're against bots, and comment below what you think about the recent news in the town hall. And subscribe for more playtime content, and let's get into it, sharks. The three topics I'm going to be talking about is tournaments, Brawls, and the battle helpers in ranked mode, because we already defeated the bots in ranked mode when it comes to modern, and we can all accept that all round. But when it comes to tournaments, I feel like we should be able to have a setting when we create a tournament. I'm not sure if many of you know yet, when you create tournaments you have so many settings you can pick from, like modern, wild, sit and go, knockout, and things of this nature. But I feel we need to have a setting where it can be decentralized or undecentralized. And when we have undecentralized, that means we can have no bots, no battle helpers and things like that. And considering with the anti-bot measures in ranked mode, the providers were more than willing to work with the team to make a lane for people. And I feel like if we allow there to be a lane for the no bots and no helpers within tournaments, and then allow a lane where they can be in, I feel the services will be more than likely to help us going forward. I don't know if many of you already know, but the export provider has definitely been a great sport when it comes to this, because he's already made a tag to get rid of helpers within tournaments, but it doesn't stop the bots, and it definitely doesn't stop any of the other services other than export, and definitely not the private ones. Because you got to think about it, with these providers and services, they don't want to do anything that's going to hurt their business model, but they also don't want the game to disappear, otherwise they won't have anything to gain from. So I feel if we allow them to develop a lane for like community hosts like myself to be able to make like anti-bot and anti-battle helper tournaments without having to use the challenge mode, that would be beyond amazing. And I don't know if you lot have seen Weirdbit's tone when it comes to these things, but he definitely wants the tournaments to be like that, but at the same time he knows what kind of task that is and all the things that have to be done within Splinterlands, not just thinking about bots and stuff. Like, he knows it's hard to kind of like target that and focus on it, especially considering we've got land going on. So I feel maybe if we make a proposal that it can be put onto the board, and then the minute land point 5 is finished, they can unpin it and tackle that situation. Now I've given you my thoughts on how we can sort out the situation within tournaments. Now let's get into Brawls, considering that's the other experience that hasn't been touched at all. And for me, there's two ways we can go about it. One makes sense, and the other one is a lot more work for the team, and we might not want that to happen. But for the first one, I feel like all round, take out bots and battle helpers with tournaments, not tournaments, Brawls, because in reality, the whole idea of Brawls is guilds versus guilds, and which one is the better guild. And you don't want a guild to win and then if they're bragging about it, you don't want to be second guessing. It's like, did they use a helper? Did they use a bot? And I feel all round we can agree with Brawls that it's just be out of there. In ranked mode, you can have an argument's sake. Personally, I don't want them in there, but other people will have an argument's sake. And the same way within tournaments, but I feel we need lanes. And I feel some areas like Brawls, we kind of can't like have a middle ground. But I will come up with a middle ground, but it's a lot more work for the team and it's less more likely to happen. But the second option is to have 2 different guild systems. And just like how I said within tournaments, you can have a decentralized guild where anything goes, and you can have an undecentralized guild where no bots, no battle helpers are allowed in their brawls, and then you have 2 different brawl systems. But I feel like that system and that way of getting around it is so much more complicated, a lot more work, a lot more features for the team. So for me, I feel with Brawls, it's just be all round no, and just cut them out completely. I feel with Brawls, we can never keep both parties happy, and I feel like we just need to like kind of nip it in the butt. And with some areas of the game, we can bot, we can automate things. But with Brawls, just allow the guilds to live in peace. The last mode I want to talk about is ranked mode, and the team has already done much effort in tackling the whole bot situation with giving us Modern being the anti-bot place. But I feel in Modern, they can also just add the anti-battle helper stuff, and then once they learn how to tackle the battle helpers within ranked mode, they can just put that within Brawls and then in turn make the feature and then put it into tournaments. As the providers of all these services were already more than happy to help us within Modern, hopefully they would help us again with getting rid of the helpers in there to allow the new player experience to be nice. Allow Modern to be the place for the new players to learn the game, learn how to win, how to lose, and then once they reach the promised land of Wild, then they can have the relaxation of having a little bit more automation. But the people that don't want to have any form of automation can automatically just stay in Modern, and then they can just play for themselves, and then they can feel their own achievement in winning. And if they lose, it's down to themselves and it's a learning experience. But like I said, the team has already made great steps in this, and I feel they just need to stop ripping off half the plaster and just rip it all off. And considering Weirdbeard said, yeah, we only asked for bots, the anti-bot stuff, we need to now ask them for the anti-battle helper stuff. In turn, I was going to call the anti-bot and anti-battle helper thing anti-help, because in turn, it's just really just help to play the game. And if you just tackle it all in once, and just put it all in one umbrella instead of saying bots, helpers, it'll be a lot more easier to tackle and then easier to talk about and easier to sort out. Well guys, all we can do is wait till August and then Modern will be a bot-free place. But until then, we can craft up a proposal to then tackle the helpers in there, and then in turn tackle Brawls and tournaments. So then we can have a beautiful land of decentralization where people can do what they want, they can bot, helpers and challenge themselves that way. And then we have another lane where people can play for themselves and have a great ecosystem between the two. Because I feel we do need a middle ground and keeping both parties happy, otherwise we're going to get nothing done at all. I feel the August changes will definitely calm down some of the noise, but it won't get rid of it at all, completely at all. So I feel we need to keep doing the work, keep on pushing forward and tackle the situations under the umbrella of no helpers, instead of going no bots, no battle helpers. Because if we put it under one umbrella, we won't have the situation that we have now where the proposal we asked for only tackled one area of the problem and not the whole situation as a whole. But if you haven't already, like the video if you're against bots and helpers, and comment below what you think we can do to sort out the situation. And subscribe for more playtime content, and remember, be a shark in this place, not a whale. And we're going to see you guys next time.